We are live in Westport this morning. Did a live shot on rural internet here in this strip mall, which is on the southwest side of Westport, west side of Westport. It's a beautiful morning. It's going to be a hot day. And we are wrapped up for the day. So just stand by for any kind of breaking news, I guess. Let's do a little penny tour of Westport. Here's the intersection where I got hit by a car. Start off with the positive things first. Walking across that crosswalk with my dogs. This is probably the main cross street of Westport. Westport and Pennsylvania. There's a Westport, Westport Square? Yeah. I was going to say Westport Manor. I guess back in the late 60s, early 70s, that was modeled, this district was being redeveloped and modeled after Ghirardelli Square in San Francisco. And the idea was to have a lot of boutique shops and nice restaurants and a place you could go take a date on a Friday, Saturday night, and afterwards a little bit of nightlife. And I guess eventually the nightlife all took over, and that's what Westport became about, as an entertainment district primarily. And Westport was the original part of Kansas City. This is where Kansas City actually started. This is where the California, Oregon, and Santa Fe trails at first kind of came through, and then this became the origination point. The origination point for those trails was drifting west. It was in Independence for a while, and then it moved to here. Westport was competing with Independence for that trade, and became the place where the wagons and the shippers and everything were outfitted to head west, because west of here was not really actually considered part of the United States. It was considered how would you say it? Oops, I'll try not to run over anybody myself. It was considered the wild territory, or the frontier. And so Westport was like the westernmost part of the United States at the time, the western port of the United States, because west of here was prairie, and people kind of saw the grasses and everything in the rolling hills. It reminded them of oceans, so they, even the wagons were called prairie schooners, like ships. And it was like diving into the ocean when you went west of here. Hence the name Westport. And then eventually Westport, after its frontier days, it became a quiet little village, and then was overtaken by Kansas City in the late 1800s. Became a very dense living area, and then around World War II, the population of Westport was aging, and the area started declining into the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and the housing stock became old, and a lot of rentals, and sort of high crime. Then artists and photographers and people like that started moving into the area looking for cheap rent, and naturally they restarted the area, became a bohemian hangout. In the 1960s, a lot of the hippies like to come here and live and play here, and then of course developers saw that and decided they were going to take advantage and drove the rent prices sky high, and then all the hippies and artists and everything couldn't afford to live here anymore, started moving out and became a entertainment district, nightlife district, and that's what it is today. There used to be a lot more neighborhoods around here, a lot more old houses and stuff. Most of those have gone away, been torn down, turned into apartments, whatever. I say it's a really beautiful morning, and we're still on Westport Road. The Westport and Broadway is also the other main intersection. Probably Westport and Pennsylvania was like the main intersection back in the day when it was its own town, and then Broadway was like the main north-south street in Kansas City, one of the main north-south streets. And here's another major intersection, Westport and Main. But Westport Road sort of ends right here at Main, but actually it doesn't, because it continues on into Independence, but when the city took over, it didn't continue the road, and other streets took over. But there is a Westport Road in Independence. It's the same one. Back in the old days, loud. Back in the old days, when you had two endpoints of a road, you would name the road after those endpoints, like Westport Independence Road, or whatever, Liberty Excelsior Springs Road, or something like that. They didn't have numbered routes or anything. They just named it after the towns it went to, and that's how Westport Road really got its name, was Westport Kansas City Road. I don't know, I have to look at the maps, because I'm not sure if when it was in Westport, if it was called Westport Road. It may have been called something else, but it might be Westport Road. I'm trying to, some of these neighborhoods over here, if I can get over there. I don't normally go this way, but there's a street over here that kind of gives you a glimpse of some of the older houses that the way the Westport neighborhoods used to be, but most of them were taken out. These houses, a lot of them are actually have been turned into offices. I mean, this is beautiful. The gingerbreading on that house is beautiful. I mean, it's just gorgeous, but they're not I'm trying to check out what some of these businesses are. Some of them are just Westport Growth Center. Some of them are, that one is beautiful, especially in this light. Language and music. Some of them are foundations. I know when I was in SAG-AFTRA, their office is in, it was over here. It was the old Major's house, which is one of the oldest houses in Kansas City. Insurance. But all of this stuff, I remember back in the late 70s coming here, and all of this was actually run down, and it was, people were living here, a lot of rentals. And, you know, having a neighborhood full of rental houses is never a good thing for a neighborhood. And I know you could get houses really, really cheap back in the late 70s. And it was because this area was high crime. That's a lot of people don't think about that it wasn't too far off long ago that this was not a desirable place to really live, and is kind of changed. Actually, in the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was a neighborhood that they have actually completely flattened and built nothing but apartments. And but it was all houses over there, and there was a notorious situation where there was a kind of a limo company, and I guess the owner of the limo company, I don't know what happened, but he went crazy and he murdered all of his employees in the basement of the house that it was based out of. And I think it was like 5-7 people were killed or something like that. It was really bad. And then, you know, this is Westport Road and Mill Street. I was always curious to see what was in this area here, and as it turns out, I kept looking back, and there wasn't much there actually. That area was dominated by Manor Bread. Kind of took up the whole block almost, and the building is still there. And behind Manor Bread was kind of a lumber yard. How would you say, lumberyard and parking area. At one time when all the neighborhoods were being developed south of here, like in the 40s and 50s, Westport was more or less the where they had a lot of the building materials, and they would ship them by rail, because I didn't talk about it. There was a rail line right there. It went south. What was it called? I think the Waldo line. No, that's not right. Yeah, I think it's the Waldo. Be careful what this guy is doing. But anyway, I think pretty much kind of toured a lot of Westport. There's more, and it's kind of funny. On this little penny tour, I even saw some things I didn't know existed. So anyways, that is Westport. Man, I just dropped this wide angle magnetic adapter lens thing down the seat crack, and it took forever to find it and get it out. Made a real mess. Ugh. Well, it's time for something ironically hot to drink, otherwise known as my happy hour. I think I'm going to have some coffee. There's some interesting weather in the area. Severe thunderstorms in central Kansas. We're seeing if this will hold together. And this is all part of a... Oh, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning just to our north. Wow. This is all part of a front. We turn on the national composite. You can see the whole boundary. And there was some really severe weather. I mean, look at all the reports in northern Illinois, northern Indiana. Jeez, look at all those reports. That is crazy. I guess the winds were 70 to 100 miles an hour. Essentially a derecho. And this is the remains of it now. But we're keeping our eyes on our skies as anything can happen. You put it back on the... Whoops. You put it back on the local radar. Yeah, let me put it back on the local radar. Single site radar, there we go. And put it on a double pane mode. New severe thunderstorm warning. And then this big boy out here in central Kansas, it's changed the radar site to the Topeka radar. Yeah, like I say, keep an eye on it. Here in Parkville on VO patrol, we got severe weather threatening the area, and I'm gonna meander on my way back to the station, return the T-View. I'm live streaming in case they want to take video, but for the most part it's been a quiet morning, quiet overnight. And yeah, we'll see how this... Ooh, that was a close one. Jeez. We'll see how this weather develops. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, we'll see how this weather develops. We got a strong thunderstorm in central Kansas heading our way. And I guess we got a lot of impatient, crazy drivers this morning. The one thing that's good is this weather is cooling everything down. It's really nice. And the thunderstorms, it's a very beautiful morning. It's very pretty. Nice. So anyway, I can get to driving here. We got weather coming in. I'm gonna go have some coffee. Admire the art. Here it comes to where we are. like most of it's happening up north. We're kind of getting lancing blow here. Most of the rain and everything's up north though. Have to make a trip to Maynard's to get this. I'm going for the case. I'd like to get reusable ones, but I can't find them here. I have to order them maybe. We've been given a grocery list. Matter for you? Eh? I know. We are live at the zoo talking about the new electric trains with the sun coming up. Ooh-ah. Yep, the zoo. For a little bit I thought that was real. Wouldn't that be make you crazy if that thing came to life? Beautiful morning after yesterday's rain. And let me tell you, my daily walks have been interrupted lately. And so I'm going to do something about that. Let's go walking. Here in the crossroads. Take note that I'm going to do my walking first and coffee later. Put the reward after. But what am I talking about? Walking is a reward. Again, I'm braving the construction to go up here on the Pencoy Bridge. A little walking tour. There is an elevator, but why take an elevator when you're trying to get exercise? And here's the backside of the famous Kansas City Union Station. We got a train going. Let's hope fishing is good today. You know what I mean. And here's another view. Of what they call the Freight House District, which is now restaurants. There's the infamous Trizac building. They're supposed to renovate Union Station in exchange for getting air rights, but all they did was built their building, took away the air rights, so now it's a stub end station instead of a pass-through station, and they didn't restore anything and kind of told the city to come sue us, which they did, and I don't think that ever went anywhere. There's the Pencoy Bridge and the backside of Union Station. All right. Now my train watching is being messed up with all this construction noise. Progress, I guess. And here is another view with the construction now, the Freight House District, and that's looking towards downtown. And here we have the Pencoy Bridge. but you can walk across the tracks to get to Union Station. And this is looking west. And here is looking east. There's Union Station. Yay. Oh yes, fishing is good today, looks like. We got a westbound container on flat car train headed by BNSF engine, followed by Norfolk Southern, so I don't know which railroad it is. Told you fishing was good. Oh, and here comes Amtrak. The Chief. Another, man, I tell you, when this place starts rocking and rolling, it really starts going. Chief is departing, heading east. I got it right this time. Eventually gonna end up in Chicago. So I was going to edit my last bit and then go into Union Station unless another train showed up. Well, another train showed up. Woo-hoo. We love it when trains show up. A huffing and a puffing. I think it's overloaded with goods from Amazon, and I think this is Prime Week, so must be doing good. Here's another vantage of the Pencoid Bridge. This bridge was moved here from up north, just directly north of downtown. And just steps away from the big boy trains, you have the little trains for your viewing pleasure. I think I was just there. Some of these little trains are not so little. That place looks familiar. Yep, just breathtaking. There's lots of things to see and do in here while you're waiting on your train. And of course, they have a big exhibit on Disney, which he was actually from this town, sort of. And in case you haven't gotten enough of trains, there's more trains. And this, of course, is where you wait to get on the real deal. And there's more to see about the history of this place in here, so that's cool. And of course, you got Science City, and you got the theater in here, and post office is in here in case you need to do that. And they got the restaurants and a coffee house, just everything. We're going this way. place. This has become a great gateway to the city. And if you're between trains and you have time, you can take the streetcar, which is free. This is the end stop. It goes north from the River Market, which is a nice area, but eventually you're doing construction and it's going to go all the way down to the plaza. A little bit of a walk to the plaza, but it'll still take you there. So yeah, nice. Getting ready to board. Crossing the Main Street Bridge, and here is the old Amtrak station, sort of the Amshack, back before they rebuilt Union Station. And there again is the backside of Union Station, and the Pencoed Bridge, and here is downtown Kansas City. A good idea of how far away you are from downtown. Actually pretty close in. You can walk there, no problem. And these days there isn't too much to be wary of. The neighborhoods have gotten a lot better. The district in between here, that is called the Crossroads Arts District, and that's full of art galleries and restaurants and bars and lofts now. So neighborhood has come quite a ways. You do have to deal with the occasional vagrant, but that's nothing most people can handle. And here's a better view of the setup from another angle as I walk back to my car. And before I head home, I'm gonna have a caffeinated drink in a third space. Coffee. Coffee. Hey, how you doing? Just wrapped up our live shot. We're here at the KU Cancer Center, which is actually here in Westwood, which I think is right on the line with Fairway. Oh, let me adjust this. 9. Otherwise the seatbelt will rub against it and that's all you'll hear. And it's a beautiful morning. The temperatures are in this, I think it's in the upper 60s actually. Mid 60s maybe. I don't know, I have to look that. Hold on. It says 64 degrees, which is actually unseasonable and very nice. And I guess it's been a slow night, and I guess I'm going to try and take the doggies out this morning, take advantage of the good weather. I know it's right along the line here with Fairway, because that's the Fairway Police Department, and it seems like, was it a year ago? Maybe it was 2 years ago we were live there. I'm trying to think, because we had just come back from the Philippines, and it happened. I caught the tail end of it. It happened while we were coming back from our vacation. And it was a police officer was murdered when he was pursuing a suspect. Look at that sunrise. That Never been in there. I didn't know that existed, and now I know. So, I'll hang out and listen to the scanner and see if there's anything to go chase after, and then see to the dogs. While I'm waiting this fine morning, I've decided to come to Santa Fe Junction and try my luck here to see if the fishing is good. They're doing some sort of construction here, so I don't know. We'll see what we got. But in the meantime, we'll appreciate the beautiful morning. There's a lot of construction work going on around here this morning. And I see to the north there's a high rail, so I don't know. There's the high rail. And be sure to wave at the virtual rail fan cameras. It is the witching hour, and it's also closing time. Or as they would refer to in Lawrence, Kansas as the sidewalk sale. I hear there's a situation possibly brewing over on Mill Street, and that is loud. There's a fire at 42nd and Prospect I'm listening to. House fire from the side of the house. Hydrant will be located on the corner of 42nd and Prospect. Side of the house. I always suspect those if they're like they start outside, usually on a porch or on the side of a house or back or front. I suspect those are set. A lot of times the fire department will go in and check on them and find that it takes very little to put them out, or they're out by the time they get there, or but I listen to them anyway. Sometimes all the excuses I use to dismiss them. One is what's going on there? I think somebody just got assaulted. 31, 9, 10, East 27th Street, breathing problems, A3. Everybody's feeling frisky on this Friday morning. East 27th Street, breathing problems, A3. Finish my thought that a lot of times they end up not going to those because they're an empty house. Nothing showing. At residential, make this 42nd Street command. Let me go into stealth mode. Not good for video, but this is my my situation. I have to very gingerly approach, apparently. Somebody called into the station and said the police were arresting somebody, and that everybody's got their video cameras out and they're chanting something like "leave them alone" or "let them go" or whatever. However, I don't see that. There's no fire. You can put it in service. No fire. I don't see any of that, and a lot of people like to make up stories, unfortunately. Especially in areas that are known for where a lot of unhoused people hang out. We'll see if the police come over here and ask me what I'm doing. Yeah, it looks like a disturbance created by what does that police officer look like he's carrying over there? It looks like a dress, almost. Yeah, we're going to KU. Getting to KU now? Yes. Your guys are high volume, their clothes are steamy, and their clothes to trauma. Yeah, we're still going there. We're still going there. 17 bumper in service. Check my cameras. Good TV. Yeah, it looks like whatever it is, it's over with now. The police are leaving. They're putting that, whatever that is, in the back of the car.
Yeah, somebody attempted to start a fire on the outside of a window. Can you start an investigator? Start an investigator.
Yep, this is over, and it's kind of a wild closing night. It's Friday morning in Westport. We're in the witching hour between 2:30 and 3:30.
215 respond. 215 responding.
All right, well, enough of this fun. Woohoo! It's a very weird night. I don't know if it's a full moon or what. Yeah, even here at Quick Trip is strange. Mainly with unhoused people. But there's a big computer outage. I guess it's all across the country. It's affecting my station, and now I have to go to the airport because there's a ground stop with a bunch of the airlines. So there's going to be a lot of people messed up with their trips because the computers are not working. Microsoft computers. So, ugh. Yeah, coming to the airport. I wonder if this is just speculating, but I wonder if this is a cyber attack. This is what it looks like in the airport right now. Some flights have been canceled, but so far it kind of looks normal. A lot of people are saying that they got notices that their flights might be delayed. But a lot of people are coming in here and they haven't heard anything, and they're just starting to wake up to it. This is apparently a worldwide outage caused ironically by some code that a cybersecurity company is updating Microsoft software with, which is crazy and ironic and scary all in one.
Okay. Now, I need to get to Salt Lake City tomorrow.
I am still stuck at the airport here till noon. They decided to keep us here and do live shots at noon, so there isn't much in the outer part of this terminal that you can do. I was gonna have my usual town topic, which I probably will after, but this long day, I guess my only choice is Dunkin' Donuts. And yeah, this is kind of a good wake-up call for America. We need to be prepared. Part of that preparation is we need to have redundancy in our systems, meaning we can't rely on technology that could be taken down by one stupid line of code. So I think maybe we need to get the typewriters, dust them off, and always be ready for technological meltdowns. Here's my eating options. I'm gonna try and get something that's not a donut. Gotta go eat the donuts. Here is something that's really sad. They're demolishing the old terminals. I think it's very foolish for them to do this, but nobody asked me. Be very angry if someday they decide, oh, we need to build a nice big hotel on that spot, or some facility, overflow facility for when we have meltdowns like today where people are stuck at the airport and they need a place to stay. I put my suggestion out, but again, nobody ever listens to me. So someday they'll want to build something on that spot, just like I suggested, and it'll cost them a couple $2 billion, but don't ask me. It's just sad to see them go. But you know, America, out with the old, in with the new. And then they'll tear this down too, not too long. It won't meet their needs anymore. On the, I guess this would be the east end, north end. On one of the ends of the terminal, this nice little park. So if you don't want to wait inside on a nice day like today, you can go outside. Neato, Guido. And there's a little mini dog park. Cool. And it's got, I guess, historic markers. And that's a good place to lay out. And I guess the planes are running despite the computer-induced disaster. Well, that's not good. Oh, the car is running a little rough too. I wonder if Microsoft can be blamed for this. I think I have audio. I'm getting to where I can pull over. I'm going to try and do a reset, which means turn the car off, turn it on, and hope it turns on. And if it keeps us up, then call back to the station and ask them, tell them I'm having a car issue. I need this like a hole in the head. Okay, so I parked it and I shut it off and I turned it on again, and it stopped doing what it was doing, so hopefully it'll stay that way. And you know, the theory is that a lot of these cars are highly computer controlled, just like everything else in the world, and you give it a little bad piece of data or something misfires or whatever, and it goes into a panic mode and won't run right, and that's maybe what's happening with this one. So I'll talk to my boss about it and see if we can get her in the shop, and hopefully it's nothing serious. Meanwhile, let the car rest and fill our tummy. It's the topic. are sassified. The dog park. There's Jimmy and Stella. Jimmy's a little low energy, but then he just had a shot not too long ago, so he probably doesn't feel that great. And Saya's over there talking to strangers. Time for our walk. Where are the dongs? Come on. Man, look at the line to Betty Ray's. Like the big spider on the fence here. The weather is absolutely great. Actually, it feels a little bit chilly almost. Walking the dogs.
No, we're going to Dalmaeus.
Oh, we are? What's going on at Dalmaeus?
Dalmaeus is a coffee shop.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? That allows dogs. And the doggies are having pup cups. And Saya is having a limeade. She said she likes it.
I love it.
Wow, this place is getting really busy. And I think the doggies are ready for bed. Right, dogs? It's a nice evening. Unseasonably cool. Saya, when she gets her phone, she becomes a screen zombie. Like the rest of the world doesn't exist anymore.
The rest of the world exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's Donanology. There's the hub.
With
What's the
their
hub?
post. It's a place you don't need to go to.
Okay.
Can we get out
stop ahead. Cross traffic does not stop.
Have I stopped ahead?
This is stop ahead and then cross traffic does not stop. Well, why are we stopping here?
Because cross traffic does not stop. If you don't stop, you'll be smushed by the cross traffic.
Yield! Right
That
away.
means stop if you have to.
No.
All right. Looks like they've opened this road so we can. Woo-hoo! Alright, can we make a right turn on red? Well, it's green, so it doesn't matter. Oh, she's back to being a phone zombie.
Hi. I can hear you.
Good, because I'm sitting right next to you. Alrighty then. Homeward bound. Woo! We have started on many projects. Among those is finish cleaning out the garage that Zach was supposed to do in the basement. And get the RV out and start working on cleaning that and getting it ready. Things started right up. Thank God for the battery maintainer. Time for the dance lessons.
3, 4, change, turn. Woo! Look at you.
We've really received some really bad news. It's time for a hot drink. Kiddos are eating ramen and playing chess. Can't see Luke over there. Admire the